Okay, Ayubovan. Ayubovan means actually may you live longer. That's how we greet in our language. Now, today I'm going to talk something important. First, my friend Dr. Vipula Vanigasekar actually gave me this idea. He asked me, why don't you go ahead and try to do this in English as well? So I'll give it a try. But to be honest, telling this message in English is going to be harder than telling it in my own language, right? Because first of all, it should come from mother language. But anyway, the main audience, at least for the first few days, main audience is going to be Sri Lankan, so they can easily understand my English. But in any case, if this reach out to English speaking people like foreigners, Americans, British, whatever, hopefully they can understand. Now, the topic today we are going to talk about, who are you? Have you think about this question? Have anybody asked you this question? This is a deep question, right? I'm not just asking you about, in an interview you get this as the first question. They ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm not asking about that. Have you ever thought about this question? Have you asked this question from somebody else? Like, who the heck am I? Where am I coming from? Where am I going? What is this all about? What is this life? Like that. If you are such a person, this video is for you. And if you are not such a person, if you have never got this question, let these words go deep within your heart. Okay? Now let's dive deep into this question. Now ask somebody, who are you? When you find some of your friends, go just ask, who are you? And most probably they are going to reply, I'm John, right? Or I'm Mary, whatever. They are going to tell their name, right? They are identified with their name, but tell them they are not their name, right? If they say I'm John, that's wrong actually. They have to say my name is John, because he's not John, right? His parents could have given him some other name. He's not John. His name is John. Other people call him John. When he hear the word John, he start responding. Imagine you put 3, 4, 5 people whose name is John and you say John. Everybody will look at you, right? Imagine that they don't know each other, that they don't know that each other's name is John, and you shout John, in a group of people like 20 people. Let's say there are 5 Johns, and those 5 Johns do not know other Johns. And if you shout John, everybody will look at you, right? So they are identified with their name, John. But that's just a name, a label, right? Now, when you go to an interview, the first question they are going to ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself, right? But in that question, they do not mean it in a deeper sense. They are just asking you, they are trying to find the best candidate for their job, right? This whole interview system is actually, in a sense, it's nonsense. They are trying to find the best actor, best pretender. And on the other hand, you are prepared to go and act, to deliver your best act, right? You already prepare, like that's the ego. In the spiritual community, we use the word ego, not in the usual sense in English. In English usual sense, we use it with a pride. No, not just that. When I say your name, for example, if you are John, when somebody is calling you John, the urge to reply, that's the ego as well. So that's not you. So in an interview, you are going to tell, my name is John, this is my qualification, I have a master's degree, I have a PhD, I have done this, that, blah, 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 all those things. Think about this. None of these things actually define real you. These are the things you hold into yourself. These are the things that you have gained. These are the things that you have gathered over a period of time, right? And you put them into a piece of document called CV, and you think that defines you, but no, that's not you, right? All those things, you can use the sentence my. Without using I, you can use the sentence my. Think about this very carefully. My name, my education, my school, my religion, my nationality, my age, my parents, my qualifications, my habits, my belongings, possessions, right? So, first question for you, can you define yourself without the idea of my? See, this is a deep question. Now, let's dive a little bit more deep into this question. Now, with this simple explanation, you should be able to understand you are not your name. You are not your school. You are not your education qualifications. You are none of that, right? You can easily throw that away. You can easily tell your friends about this. You are none of these things. You are none of these things that you are going to tell in an interview for the first question. Most probably the first question, right? You are not that. Then a person may think, I am this. I am this body. Now this is a big problem. Are you this body? Well, if you think you are this body, well, take your nail, bite it and throw it away. Put it in dustbin or put it into the earth. That will become compost, good for earth, right? Now, cut your hair, throw it away. Is that you? Like, is that you minus 0.01100000001 of you? I mean, is that 0.99999 John? No, right? You still say John. Now, if this cutting of the nail or hair, if it doesn't seem like a much, think about this. What if in an accident you lost your arm? I mean, I wish something don't happen to you. I wish that. But what if somebody lose their arm? Is that you? Still John is John, right? We don't say John without arm. What is this feeling? So with this explanation, you should be it should be easy to understand your body is not you, right? Now in the Western cultures, the body is taken to be me, which is actually, that is the materialism. So you define this as yourself, and the moment you define this as yourself, outside becomes the other. Me and the other. Separation. That's the illusion. When it comes to Eastern cultures, it's different. I mean, at least it used to be different. So this whole attempt is to bring that culture again. Because this is important, right? You are not your body. Now let me take a little bit different approach. Now if you think you are this body, how about this argument? Let's say you ate a banana this morning or this afternoon or yesterday. Now where is that banana? You can say it's in your stomach. But what happened? That banana actually became you, right? So your body, in a very simple explanation, your body is nothing but the food that you gathered around a period of time. Think about this. That banana became your body. If I say that banana became you, that's wrong, because you are not your body. That banana became your body. So your body is nothing but this earth, right? But that explanation is very simple. In a very simple level, if you go to a deeper level, your body is actually an attention and concentrated energy point, a node in an energy field, or we can call it the quantum field. Energy appears to be physical in the human physicality, and an energy node is the body. So I'm not going to that deep. So in simple words, your body is nothing but the food that you have gathered. Think about this. Where is this food coming from? Moon, sun, Mars? No. I mean, there are connections, but still you are eating this earth, right? So your body is part of this earth. If you are going from California to Texas, part of this earth is moving. Have you ever thought about it that way? Think about it. So remember, your body is not you. Now, next is the biggest problem. Then a person thinks, my mind is me. Now, this is the biggest problem, and this is the difficult place to make somebody understand that your mind is not you. So I'll give it a try. But it's not easy, right? You have to follow the spiritual teachings and listen to these kind of things and follow meditations over and over for some time. Not for everybody. Some people can easily understand. People are different, right? So anyway, let's dive deep into this. Are you your mind? Now, when we talk about this, I remember René Descartes. René Descartes is a Western philosopher. If my memory is correct, he is French and a mathematician. I believe, according to his name, he's the one who's responsible for Cartesian plane, XY plane, right? Anyway, he's a philosopher as well. He told, I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. So it's completely against what I am talking about here. So the obvious meaning of I think, therefore I am is the thinking entity is you. Now that's going to be a problem. Why? Because I just said you are not your thinking entity. Because if you think, okay, let me explain it this way. How many thoughts you get in a day? How many thoughts? Even now you are getting thoughts, but are you activating them? Are those thoughts you? No. Actually, René Descartes got it completely wrong, but he's not alive here, so it's not. If he's alive here, we could have a discussion and ask him what he has actually meant. If he has meant, I think, therefore I am. If that I am, if he is saying, I think, therefore this egoic I am is created. Yes, correct. But he just said, I think, therefore I am. That is wrong, because you have to be careful when you use the English or whatever language. You have to be careful. So this statement, because when you be honest and tell me, when you hear this statement, I think, therefore I am, the very first thing come to a normal human being's mind is thinking creates me, right? That can be a disaster. That can create an egoic, arrogant, selfish human being who destroy this world. Look at this. It's happening, right? In this world, there are people who have billions of dollars, and there are people on the other hand who doesn't have a single dollar. They would spend millions of money to send a rocket. Within like 2 minutes, they burn that much of energy by making thousands of people starving somewhere in Africa or somewhere. There is an unbalance because of, this, everything is connected, okay? Everything is connected. In this energy field, in this quantum field, everything is connected. You and me are also connected. As long as you hold into this idea of body and mind, that's you, no. You don't see this connection. You are me and I am you. Just like two waves on the ocean. Those waves, they think they are separate, but no, that's the same ocean. Just like that, we are the same consciousness. So let's go deep into this. I think, therefore I am. I will give two much better statements. I am, therefore I may think. That means I already am. So if I want, I will activate this thinking body. Think about this carefully. Are you thinking, or is this thinking happening to you? The ignorant human being, 99.9. I'm not saying the ignorant in the sense of education, okay? In countries like Southeast Asia, India, Sri Lanka, in those countries, there are people who have not a single education, but those people are wise. I'm talking about ignorance in a spiritual sense. Okay? When you have this bigger awareness, higher awareness working, higher awareness looking at you, those people are awakened. Other people who are in their little minds, thinking me, I am this body, I am this and that, I have PhD, blah, 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 blah. No, they are ignorant. They do not know what's happening here, right? So, the much better statement is, one of the much better statement is, I am, therefore, I may think. You already are before thinking the real you are, right? Before your body, the time. Before the time, the awareness. You are that higher awareness. Now, let me give you a practice. If you were listening up to this point, probably you were listening with concentration. That concentration is very much outbound. You are listening to me, right? Now, for a moment, be aware of the fact that you are listening. I'm not talking about to be aware of my words. No, I am asking you to go one more step backward. This is a backward path. While you are listening to me, I want you to be aware of the fact that you are listening to me. Just like while I am talking, I should be aware that I am talking. See? The higher awareness. Instantly, a certain awareness comes into play. So whenever you do a thing, you have to be aware of yourself. Rather than doing it, rather than focusing your energy outward, you have to keep your attention inward as well. So in a different video, I will go deep into that. So you already are. If you want, you can activate thinking. This is a subtle point, and I hope you can understand that. And that's, even if you don't understand, don't worry, right? Because what I am saying here is, it took me like 7-8 years of practice to understand this. Anyway, now I remember another way of fixing René Descartes' statement. How about this? He said, I think, therefore I am. Let me plug one more word. How about this? I think, therefore I think I am. Now that's much better. I think, therefore I think I am, right? Actually, that's what's happening. You think you are, but you are not. Are you? A certain process is happening here, and somehow an illusionary entity known as yourself, the little me, we call it the little me, or the separate self, or the ego. Most of the human beings, 99.9 of the population, they are in this separate self mode. That is the mode actually suffers. That is the mode going for cravings, going for things after one thing after other, one thing after other. That ego will never satisfy it. That little ego is not you. What if I come to you and erase your memory without killing you? Then who are you? See? Then you have that feeling of existence without the memory of John, my possessions, my education. Oh, what is that memory? What is not that memory? What is that feeling? Dive deep into this. If your awareness is high, you can catch this. This is the realization. This is the starting point of realization. Okay? So, actually, who are you? Now, in this video, I'm not going to give an answer because it's impossible to give an answer. You have to find it. You have to discover it for yourself. This is the basis of all religions, right? They may say different words, nirvana, moksha, God, whatever they want, but you are that. You are not this little you are already that. This is just an appearance in the human level of existence. There are other planes of existence, but in the human level of existence, this body appears. That's secondary. That's the secondary you. That you is only good enough to do the worldly activities, but that you is not the reality. That you is the one who is causing problems, gives you all troubles. But if you wake up to that bigger you, higher you, that's the starting point of spiritual journey, not the ending point. Who is that bigger you? It is impossible to put into words because words has duality. What I am talking about here is non-dualistic point. So, let this be a discovery for yourself, and even if you find this out, it's going to be impossible for you to put it into words. Anyway, before I end this video, I will give you a metaphor. Metaphors, these kind of stories, are extremely important to understand. Now, this is the reason why religions are full of metaphors, but unfortunately, people just catch the story of those metaphors. They do not see the deep side. Now, let's see whether you can understand this deep metaphor. Now, if you are in a room, look at the room. And if you are not in a room, please pause the video until you go inside the room and lock the door, close the door. Do not let anybody disturb you and look at the room. See, I see bottles, laptops, my books, my mathematics books, microwave, chairs, tables, all those things. right? When I ask you to look at the room, those are the things coming into your mind, right? Actually do it with me. But those objects, are those this room? Well, they bring certain clarity, right? Certain quality. They define the room, that's true, but that's not the room, right? So throw that away. I mean, not throw that away, empty the room. If you can actually physically empty the room and get the feeling of an empty room, that's better. That's really good. Or when someday you go to an empty room, get this feeling. Look at the empty room. Okay, how do you define the empty room? Now, before that, when I say throw those books, tables, laptops, all those things away, that's just like asking you to throw your name, your education, your qualities, your school, those things, those labels that your nationality, your sexuality, all those things, you can easily throw them away. They are not the room, they are not you. Now, next, look at the empty room. In an empty room, what do you catch as an empty room? Well, the boundaries, right? Let's say the room has 4 boundaries, 4 walls, and the ceiling and the floor. These things confine the space, and that confined space is known as room. But you immediately you have the attention on the boundary, right? Now these boundaries is just like your body. Now remove the boundaries. What's going to happen? Room will disappear, just like that. This mind, this consciousness, a bigger consciousness is concentrated to a certain point. So in the Western cultures, in the scientific, normal mainstream science world, not the quantum physics or stuff, normal, like the mind associated with the brain, that's not the real mind, right? Now in English, you have only one word, mind, so that's a big problem. So I have to use mind for different levels. So the part associated with the brain, that mind, that the body mind, let's call it body mind, that is just like the space in the room, right? Once you remove the boundaries, that space is not different with the space outside. You are the higher consciousness itself. And I hope you get some message from this video. Thank you.